I'm so happy. The whole world is just beginning.
Greetings, peace, infinite waters, diving deep once again. Deep divers, shout out to all of you. I hope you're taking care of yourself. I woke up like this, all magical and fly, and shout out to everyone who's here, everyone who's diving deep. I said it's time to go live, deep divers. First and foremost, let's breathe. Whoa! Breathing in that good ass prana, baby. That was amazing. Raising the frequency. I feel so much better now. Raising the vibration. I feel so much better now. Deep divers, shout out to all of you. Take that. Good ass energy I'm sending you. The cat down the road said you feel a whole lot better now. First and foremost, it's good to be back on the live stream. We got a whole new background, right? I like the background. Deep divers. First and foremost, notices. Let me say a big shout out to everybody who's got the latest book, Feel Alive 2. This book is 500 pages. 10 years in the making. Unlock your infinite power, the Bible of becoming your greatest version. And like I told you, head to ralphsmart.com/the book, also on Amazon, worldwide, Barnes and Nobles, all of that. You know, I'm just reminding you, deep divers, that anything is possible. Anything is possible. I never thought the book could be manifested, but I said, okay, this is the year to do it. And you got to remind yourself, anytime you want to do something, you got to do it. Shout out to all the YouTube members. And I'm going to be doing a lot of different things. Like I always say, I'm creating a lot of content. I love to do it. It's always a privilege to do it. But there are deep divers who are always supporting the show, and they've become members of this channel. Click join below any of my videos to become a YouTube member, because what I'm going to be doing is creating content, these live streams, and putting them up on the membership page after the stream. So make sure you join the YouTube membership to get access to that. Also, shout out to everyone who's here, everyone who's diving deep, right? I want to read your comments, deep divers. I want to read your messages. So I just put out a video, Signs of the Times, right, on the main channel. And I got to give you a backstory of that, right? Because we're living in incredible times right now, monumental times right now, scary times right now, times of change, times of introspection, and also holy shift. A lot of people are noticing the rapid changes. It seems as if time is speeding up. It seems as if there's not enough hours in the day. And what we're witnessing is one world coming to an end. It's been prophesized, it's been talked about for a long time. And we're actually in a period where we're actually witnessing it. A lot of people are now realizing it's over. A lot of people are now realizing things are coming to a grinding halt. And, you know, I want you to take a look at your own life, deep divers, to say, okay, what is it that is coming to an end in my own personal life, right? What is it that's coming to an end in your own personal life? It could be an addiction. It could be a job not serving you. It could be a group of friends not serving you. It could be a lifestyle. It could even be the older version of yourself, right? There's a lot of endings which are happening right now on the planet, and it's about time. And we've got to remind ourselves that it's good. Things are coming to an end. It's good that people are now waking up to see more than they've been told. And let me say a congratulations to everyone who's still here. If you are still here, give yourself a round of applause. If you are still here, give yourself a round of applause. Because like I told you, there were people who were sent here, chosen ones, deep divers back in the day, who just came to usher in the whole new world that we're in right now for the better. There are people who came 10 years ago who were giving you a message. Now the world is slowly waking up to what they were talking about. And I'm a Pisces deep diver, so I'm always tapped in and tuned in. And we've got to remind ourselves every single day that you got to take a look at the signs of the times. You got to remind yourself programs are crashing. You got to remind yourself people's ways of life are coming to an end. What people were doing before is no longer valid. It's no longer any fun because they know better. And that's the whole thing. Once you know better, you can't go back. And a lot of people are getting those wake-up calls. A lot of people, they're starting to see that actually, I better stop now while I'm ahead. Actually, it's time to do a 360, a 180. It's time to move in another direction than the direction I was going in before. And this is why it's a beautiful time to be on the planet right now. It's an amazing time. But you also want to remind yourself that we're in a time right now where everything is switching up. We're in a time right now where everyone is changing. What people were doing before, it's no longer valid. Everyone now has to step up, has to reinvent themselves, and is being forced to level up. Right? Everyone, you probably noticed that yourself, deep divers, that you're being forced to level up and all of these things. So we're in a paradigm shift right now. And you got to remind yourself that Infinite Waters is still here. Infinite Waters is still here. Right? And that's a sign as well. Because a lot of people didn't make it. A lot of people didn't make it. And if you are someone who's still on the mission, congratulations. If you're still here, doing what you know you came here to do, congratulations. Because you got to remind yourself that you were supposed to not still be here. You were supposed to be crying yourself a river. But we're still here. And this is only a testament to our character and strength that nothing can get in the way of God's plan. Slow motion this side. So you got to remind yourself that if you are still here after all these years, you're still doing it, doing what you know you came here to do, continue to do it. Be proud of yourself. Celebrate that you've come this far. Celebrate that you still got a good energy. Celebrate you got these positive emanations. Celebrate that you didn't turn to alcohol, throw away your life. Infinite Waters is still here. Watching the ship go down. Watching a whole new world forming. I'm excited. I'm also concerned for a lot of people. What's happened in the system is that people are no longer believing in it. And when you don't believe in something, it no longer exists. It's over. We're actually moving into a place where you either know or you don't know. You're either awake or you're fast asleep. There is no in between, and there is no straddling the fence. Let me shout out to Quantum Dynamic 8, right? Gratitude. Quantum Dynamic 8. Let me say a big thank you to you and shout out to you, because like I always say, gratitude is what it's always about. Let me give you a round of applause. Quantum Dynamic 8 for supporting the show, and Deep Divers, support the show. Hit that super chat. This is it. I don't go live a lot. Whenever I do, turn up. Let's go. Shout out to you, Quantum Dynamic 8. Thanks so much for supporting the show. And like I always say, Quantum Dynamic 8 has been here for a while. And I always want to say, let me give flowers to the deep divers who are always supporting the show. Let me give flowers to the deep divers who are always supporting the show, always rocking with Infinite Waters. You are most definitely appreciated, because what my mentor taught me, said, Ralph, always say thank you to the people who are showing up in your life, who are riding with you, who are supporting you. Because I wouldn't be here without the loyal deep divers. You wouldn't be here without people who are helping you along your journey. So take time to say thank you. Take time to give gratitude. Take time to say thank you. Because the more you do that, the more manifestations arise in your life. Quantum Dynamic 8, shout out to you. Thank you for going live. I love you. Thank you for always being there. We are here for the shift. Absolutely. We are here for the shift. Absolutely. Because we are the shift, co-creating with God as the Galactic Council together. I like that. I like that a lot. Absolutely. 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 So it is over. And a lot of people have noticed that. A lot of people, they can feel the change. They can feel the shift. They can feel that things are moving at a supersonic speed. So we went from analog to digital, right? And that was in 2012. We went from analog to digital. And there was a guy I used to watch on YouTube, Digital Universe. At the time, I'm like, wow, this guy is amazing. He was doing graphic design, all of these things. And he was calling his channel Digital Universe, right? And that was back in 2012. But he was talking about how this shift was coming and how everything is going digital. And it has gone digital. And we have to remind ourselves that you got to hold on to your humanity now more than ever. You have to hold on to your humanity now more than ever, because what's happened right now on the planet is that people, the human being as you know it, is actually changing. The human being as you know it is changing forever. And this is the reason why it's over. And you want to make sure right now Organic Machine 333, you're most definitely appreciated. Let me give you a round of applause for showing some love. What's up? Let's go. Organic Machine, thank you so much. Ralph Mentor, first, I want to say thank you for the work you do. Here, very grateful. Can you give advice for self-love through failure? Absolutely. Absolutely. You got to remind yourself that there is no such thing as failure. Only stepping stones to help you become your greatest version. Let me repeat that. There is no such thing as failure. Only stepping stones to help you become your greatest version. One more time. There is no such thing as failure. Only stepping stones to help you become your greatest version. You got to remind yourself that the people who never fail are the people who never venture, who never do anything, who never go after their dreams. If you go after your dreams, deep divers, you're into creating your own reality, you're into manifesting, you're into leveling up, you're into doing big things in life, you're going to fail. And it's going to be ugly, but it's going to be a lesson. It's going to be a learning curve. And you have to remind yourself that nothing ventured, nothing gained. You need to fail. You need to embrace failure, because that's actually the gateway to becoming your greatest version, right? Thank you so much for that. So as I was saying, deep divers, it's over. And we've got to remind ourselves that right now we're in a very interesting time. And you see, people who were awake and aware 10 years ago are the way showers, are the gatekeepers, are the people who are going to help humanity through this time we're in right now of artificial intelligence, of this time we're in right now where people are forgetting what it means to be human. You got to remind yourself that we're in a time right now where Infinite Waters, Ralph Smart used to upload videos, right? You would upload videos, make a video, edit the video, upload the video. Now, we're in a time right now where the younger generation is not doing that. They are streaming. And streaming is cool, right? I'm doing it right now. I love live streaming. But you have to remind yourself, we're in a time right now where people are becoming machines. And this is the reason why you have to pay very close attention to what you're doing right now, the life you're living right now, the purpose you have right now, because it's all relative. You see, you got to remind yourself right now, a lot of people don't realize that even streaming, like people on Twitch streaming for 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, that's a trap. Because what's happening is people are actually getting into the metaverse. And this is what they want. Right? This is what they want, because it's an attention economy. It's an attention economy, you see. That's the reason why TikTok is so huge, because attention is the new currency on the planet. Rolling Stones 503. Any other Blu-rays here? Shout out to you. You're most definitely appreciated. Thank you so much, Blue. You are most definitely appreciated. Shout out to you. Michelle Helm, you're most definitely appreciated. Let me give you some love. Thank you so much. Michelle Helm, shout out to you. Thank you, Ralph. It's Michelle. Hey, deep divers, go and follow Michelle at One Love for Bug. I made you some toothpaste. Hey, shout out to you. What kind of toothpaste, right? Shout out to you. You're most definitely appreciated. And shout out to all of you deep divers. Smash that like button right now if you support the real. Smash that like button right now if you support the real, because we're really gonna enjoy this stream, right? We're gonna enjoy this stream, and hit that like button, share the video, have your say as well, like everyone else who's been leaving a comment, a message in the super chat. So it's over, and you got to remind yourself that there's a split happening right now between the 3D and the 5D. And this is the reason why everything feels strange right now. It doesn't feel the same. A lot of people say, Ralph, it doesn't feel the same. Absolutely not. Because you see, COVID was the reset. What did they call it? The Great Reset, right? COVID was the reset. And that was when the split really was happening full throttle, where basically people who are aware and awake, it was a confirmation they were right all along. And people who readily accepted everything they were told switched off. And now they're in the Borg agenda. And that's the reason why you got to be mindful of how you use this technology. Don't think that you were given an iPhone for your pleasure. All of this is part of a grand design to keep you fast asleep and to take your whole body and put it into a computer chip, to download consciousness into computers. This is what's happening, even as I'm speaking. And this is the reason why when you ask billionaires, what are they investing in? Everyone is saying, hey, AI. Because they know that they want to invest in AI because AI is going to give them immortality. They want to merge with the machine. You got people who have all of this wealth on this planet. They want to stay and keep it forever. So this is where it all began. Even the film Elysium was telling you that the guy who was really old in the film was like, hey, I don't want to die. I'll do anything to stay young. And this is what AI is all about. When you have people who are willingly going to merge with the Borg, going to merge with the AI to have immortality, this is what's happening on the planet. Not realizing that your soul is already eternal, immortal, and you got nothing to worry about. But there are people here who can only live through artificial intelligence. They don't have anything inside of them. And that's the reason why Charlie Chaplin was telling you when he had the world's most famous speech, he was even pushing back because he saw what was coming. He knew that there are machine men and machine women. He knew that people are losing their humanity. And that's the reason why even the earbuds, you got to be careful. What happens when people are plugged in with the earbuds, with the headphones on, walking around? They can't even hear Gaia talking to them. Oh my gosh. They can't even hear the sound of nature. They can't even hear the cat down the road. And that's the whole plan. Because once you're isolated from your environment, once you're isolated from Mother Nature, Gaia, once you are disconnected from this, what happens? Now you lose all sense of who you really are. And you see, I started making videos in the heart of nature, and I still do. But I was just giving you a message from the heart of nature. After the video, I will be meditating for hours, chilling with friends, doing other stuff. Because I realized that, hey, I want to give people a message from the heart of nature, remind people. When the switch happened that they wanted everyone to constantly live stream, I said, okay, I'm not going to do that. I'll go live sometimes, but I'm not going to go live 10 hours a day like those Twitch streamers. Ain't nobody got time for that. Because what essentially is happening is that you're now spending more time on the machine than in the real world. It's just like people who have their phone on 24/7. They sleep with their phone on. They wake up with their phone on, not realizing you're now becoming artificial intelligence. You're now becoming a synthetic human being. This is all part of the plan. And that's the reason why when you wake up and say, look, let me turn off my phone sometimes. Let me take a phone break. There's no Wi-Fi out here, but I swear there's a better connection. Once you realize that actually your DNA is a biological internet, far superior than any supercomputer on the planet, you now realize that actually they're trying to mimic you. And I was making a video in the heart of nature. A woman said, oh, I like what you were saying. I said, oh, thanks. She said, do you have a channel? I said, yeah, Infinite Waters. She said, okay, cool. I said, what do you do? She said, well, I do translation. But she said, oh, she feels lost, right? And a lot of people are like that because jobs are being replaced. People's jobs are being replaced. And that's the reason why in this day and time, deep divers, you want to make sure that you have something that you're working on that can't be replicated. For instance, play an instrument, learn the guitar, learn the saxophone. AI can't do that yet. But if you're in your office job, just beware that AI is going to replace you in the next year or two. And that's the reason why you always want to prioritize your authenticity. You always want to remind yourself your creativity is what the AI can't master yet. So it's over. Now, the good news is that a lot of people can breathe a sigh of relief. Woo! It's over. A lot of people are now realizing what they've been living in is nothing more than a cheap set, ridiculous B movie. And it has always been like this. The film Inception was about dreams, right? And in one scene in the film, they said, okay, I come here to wake up. And many people through the dream world, they're getting premonitions, they're getting insights into what's coming, and they're getting insights into what they should be doing. I'm a Pisces, so I'm always dreaming, deep divers, and I'm always intuitive to know that we've already hit the iceberg. We're in a time right now where you have people in cities all around the world leaving cities because they know it's over. You got people who are saying, you know what is going to make my soul evolve to the next level? I need to go to that place. You got people, what's happening on the planet right now is a huge reshuffling. You got people who are now moving in the direction of where they're meant to be. It's an incredible time, an amazing time, because people are now waking up to say, okay, it's over. You know, for a long time, a lot of people were saying, you know what? Let me feel the room out. Let me see what's happening here. And it was a love and hate relationship. A lot of people complained about it, but they were still in it. Now people are saying, you know what? I don't want to complain about it. I want to move to the place of my greatest evolution. We're in this time right now where a lot of people are pivoting. A lot of people are saying, okay, where can I move my family to? Let's go to Costa Rica. Hey, let's go to Bali. Hey, let's go to Ethiopia. Let's go to South Africa. Let's go to Ghana. Let's go somewhere where we can be in touch with nature, because you see, everything is happening for a reason. It's happening because even in ancient texts, they talk about this shift of power from the west to the east, right? They talk of this shift of power even in Revelations. The shift of power from the west to the east, that's happening right now. And that's the reason why a lot of people are saying, oh my gosh, let me go back to Africa. Oh my gosh, let me go back to South America. People are leaving Europe. I was born in London. But London is finished. It's over. You don't want to go to London because it's not a good place to live if you want to become your greatest version and go to the next level. It's a good place to be in the rat race. I went to university in London. But at the same time, a lot of people are waking up to say, actually, I don't want to be in an urban city where people are pushing past you, budging past you just to get somewhere. I want to be free. I want to be waking up to a beautiful waterfall. I want to be free. I want to be doing a little samba, baby. And this is what's happening. That's the reason why it's over. Now, we're in a time right now where a lot of people have made huge investments. Let me shout out to Irving Rodriguez, right? You are most definitely appreciated. I appreciate everything you do, Ralph. Keep the sacred flame going. Hey, let me give you a round of applause. Stephanie, shout out to you. Thank you, Ralph, for being with us every day. Hey, that's what I love to do. You are most definitely appreciated, right? So, it's over. Like I said, a lot of people are leaving these cities. LA, for example. People are like, gosh, LA is getting too crowded. Paris, all of these cities all around the world. People are saying, you know what? I want to get out. I want to go off grid. I want to have a heightened state of existence, a higher state of existence. MTL, I realize there's more to life than being a slave. You see, there's a whole story of humanity, which is what only a few people know. I'm a 33. And when I say I'm a 33, I'm talking about I'm a 33. I was born into the mystery school. And there's a reason why they built organizations around the number 33. Because there are people on this planet who know more than most people about the nature of reality, about what we're actually here to do, about actually what a human being is. These are the things that you need to understand, overstand, and understand if you want to be free. Because someone has got you in a dream spell and it's time to wake up. Deep divers, how you feeling today? Oh, it feels so good to be alive, baby. Let me shout out to Mark. You're most definitely appreciated, Mark. Mark, thank you so much for your generous support to the show. I definitely appreciate that. Let me give you a round of applause. Thank you so much, Mark. You're most definitely appreciated. So a lot of people right now are realizing that actually there's so much more to this story than we've been told. You see, if you realize, deep divers, at school you're not taught about meditation. It's what I call the first 18 years of torture. Most people get programmed through the educational system and they come out still lost and confused. Then they go to university looking for answers. Now they still can't get a job because AI is taking your jobs, deep divers, right? So you got to remind yourself that even when I was at school, I realized there was a friend of mine who was getting homeschooled at the time. I'm like, gosh, this guy is crazy. Now I realize actually he was really smart. You know, people who homeschool their children, that's a great idea. And all wealthy people do that. They send their children to different schools. In fact, there's a school in Switzerland where all of these wealthy people send their children to, and that's how they network and control the whole planet. You better wake up, because a paradigm shift is upon us. You know, right now, more and more people are realizing they're in a comedy skit. Life is a meme. It's over. And that's the reason why the good news, the liberation, comes when you realize that you're not supposed to take this stuff seriously. The more you can laugh about it is the more you can empower yourself. You got to have a sense of humor. If you're so serious all the time, why so serious? It's going to be hard for you out here. Because you got to remind yourself that this whole thing is a comedy skit. That's the reason why I was telling you, signs of the times. You got so much happening. Russia, Ukraine, Israel, Gaza, all of these things happening in the Congo. All of these things which need attention. Yet people are talking about 100 men versus one gorilla on social media. That's how you know society is cooked. Right? People are talking about 100 men versus one gorilla, not realizing that all of that's a distraction. Because first and foremost, the gorilla doesn't even want to involve itself with human beings because it's far too in its own element. But it's because human beings are so lost, disconnected, we want to have a fight with the gorilla. And this is the issue with the human being, that we've entered a state where a lot of people are so idle that they live in a delusional state. And this is the reason why healing is so needed for all of us. And as deep divers, we've been doing the work. We've been doing the self-healing. That's what we're doing right now. But there are people who haven't even started. And they're going to be in for a rude awakening. Once they pull the wool over their eyes and start waking up to what's actually happening, they're going to be in for a big shock. It's over. Because you see, humanity is still on a sedative. Humanity is still hypnotized in a deep trance. And only those who have the eyes to see can see it. Many are called, few are chosen. Many are called, few are chosen. You got to remind yourself, deep divers, I'm not giving you this message to go viral. I'm giving you this message because this is what I was sent here to do. That's a slow motion. And shout out to all the people out there who are doing what they know they came here to do. Not all of us are supposed to be doing the same thing. Every one of us is here for a different reason. You got to find out what your reason is. You got to do it unapologetically. You got to remind yourself, you're going to have people who are going to come to you, family, friends. Hey, what are you doing that for? Not everyone is going to understand your dream or vision, and that's okay. Slow motion this side. Say it again, Ralph. I said not everyone is going to understand your dream or vision, and that's okay. One more time. Not everyone's going to understand your dream or vision, and that's okay. But you got to remind yourself it's over to people pleasing. If you are someone who's been caught up trying to make sure everyone is approving what you're doing, you're going to be cooked. We're in a time right now where you are going to have to go through life, and some people are going to be pissed off at you for the choices you made, for where you want to be right now, because you got to remind yourself there's levels to this shit. Not everyone is on the same level. You might be Yoda. Deep divers, congratulations. Right? And then you've got some people who are still in their old ways. They don't want to change. They don't want to evolve. They want to stay the same. Right? This is what's happening. Snow Wolfius, you're most definitely appreciated. Let me give you a round of applause and send you love. Most definitely appreciated. Snow Volfius. Peace. Been watching since 2016. Your work has helped my soul journey immensely. Good energy to you, my friend, and the cat down the road. 1111. You most definitely appreciate. I appreciate that. And like I said, if you're still here, deep divers, congratulations. Once again, not everyone made it. Because you see, so much happens over time. So much happens through the years. A lot of people grow bitter cold. Some people give up. Some people get sidetracked. Some people they go back to their old ways. And if you're still here on your path, deep divers, doing what you came here to, I'm still here, deep divers. And I'm still passionate about what I'm doing. I'm still excited about what I'm doing. I'm still grateful for what I'm doing. People say, Ralph, how you doing? I say, hey, I'm still here. That's a good sign. That means I'm still loving what I'm doing. If I didn't love what I was doing, I would have stopped in 2016 when the guy started watching me. But I'm still here. So you got to remind yourself, deep divers, it's the marathon. I'm in it for the marathon. I'm in it for the 100-year plan. You got to think long term, because we're already immortal. And you got to always remind yourself that it's not just about for today. It's about, okay, what can I do today that my future self can applaud me for? What can I do today that can help my children out, give them generational wealth? What can I do today where my family can be good? What can I do today to help other people for tomorrow? So, one thing I've noticed is that we're in a time right now where, like I told you, things are speeding up. You got more people than ever sharing content, which is great, which is phenomenal. On YouTube, on TikTok, people are starting channels. And that's great. But you have a lot of people who say, I just want attention. And you got to be very careful. Because you see, not all attention is good attention. Just like not all money is good money. Not all energy is good energy. And you have to be careful about the energies you're sending out there. If you've got a TikTok page, you got a YouTube channel, you got to be mindful about the energy you're putting out there. You see, there are great beings who should still be here, but they got carried away. They started to get caught up in the attention economy. They started to do things just for attention instead of doing things that were authentic to who they really are. And when you're someone who has been there, done that, got the t-shirt, it's not about the attention. It's about the message. What I'm seeing with the younger generation, they're into streaming, live streaming. But a lot of them are going to be in for a rude awakening. Because it's not just about live streaming. It's about, okay, what are you going to say? What are we doing here? And that's the reason why even a lot of people on Twitch live stream, and some of them are taking their own lives. Because they wake up one day, they feel empty. They wake up one day, they realize that they were living a fake version of themselves. And that's the reason why, if you're someone who's still got integrity, you're still sharing what's on your heart, you're not doing it just for the audience, congratulations. It's over. A lot of people right now, they know that something has happened on this planet where the dream is collapsing. People are now realizing that actually there are so many things which you don't know about. The nature of reality. And I'm going to be bringing on more guests. I got a lot of guests lined up. I won't say too much, but I'm always about giving other people a platform to share their message, which I feel is going to be beneficial to all of you. But for instance, back in the day, there was talk of the holographic universe, right? And I had a good friend, Sonia Barrett, who was talking about that. And now everyone is talking about simulation theory, right? Nick Bostrom talked about that. But simulation theory, are we living in a simulation? And the more you remind yourself that, a lot of people say life is a movie, right? Life is a video game. And that's exciting, right? One thing we do know is that life is not what you think it is. Life is not what I think it is. And this is where you can breathe a sigh of relief to remind yourself that you don't know everything. What's happened on the planet is that people have been lulled into a false sense of security. They've been lulled into an illusion where they think they know it all. And this has been done through programming, indoctrination, religions, all kind of things, where people think they have the absolute truth. When you're an initiate, when you're a truth seeker, when you're on the quest for truth, you don't get stuck with one ideology. You don't get stuck to a political party. You start questioning the very fabric of your own existence. You got people like Alan Watts who did that, phenomenal mind, right? You start realizing that actually most of your life has been a lie. And most people don't want to hear this. Most people would rather have their headphones on and their earbuds on and walk around. And that's a trap. That's exactly what they want, because once you take off these earbuds, the AirPods, you start listening, you're going to get some insights. And it's going to shake you out of your boots. A lot of people aren't ready for that. They take the AirPods out. They're like, oh my gosh, I can hear too much. Let me put them back inside. And that's the reason why, if you have the AirPods out and you're walking around self-aware, congratulations. If you are walking around full of sensitivity, and sensitivity meaning that you're tapped in, you're tuned in to the energy field, to the quantum field, to everything happening around you, congratulations. You see, when you dumb down yourself, there's a reason why a lot of people drink a lot. A lot of people sedate. They almost dull their senses for a reason. Because the truth is staring at us face to face. 3 things that can never be hidden: the sun, the moon, and the truth. I said 3 things that can never be hidden. 3 things that can never be hidden: the sun, the moon, and the truth. And they've tried to hide the truth for a long time. You can't hide the truth, you can only suppress it. But it's over, because the truth is now in everyone's faces. It's all over the place. And it's up to you. You can choose to see it, or you can choose to ignore it. You can choose to listen to it, or you can choose to ignore it. You can choose to say, hey, I got to take a look at my own life, or you can choose just to be hypnotized again. But it's over. We're in a time right now where so much has happened over the last few years in terms of a big pandemic, in terms of a lot of people losing themselves to find themselves, in terms of a lot of people having clarity on who they want to be. You got to remind yourself, deep divers, that there's nothing to be afraid of. It's over. If you've been in a fear mindset, it's over to that. You got to remind yourself there's nothing to be afraid of except fear itself. A lot of people, working in this content creation space, I've started to realize that, I study how the media works, right? For instance. And what the media do is that, they find stories to say and they sensationalize the stories, right? So it's very interesting. And I started to do this when I was, making YouTube videos in the early days. And I started to do it again and say, oh my gosh, it's all a story. It's all a story. And that's the reason why you have to stop allowing stories to govern your internal state. You got to stop allowing the media to change how you feel today. A lot of people, when you remind yourself that the news media work on your emotions, headlines, they work on manipulating your emotions, because that's the only way they can get you to read what they want you to see. So they got to make it worse than it actually is. They got to blow it out of proportion. They got to give you, oh my gosh. And how they do this is by fear, grief, shame, guilt. And that's the reason why you have to be able to study how the media, every single day, just look at the headlines of a media story. They'll tell you something that's so bad that's happening. The next day, they won't even talk about it. They go on to the next story and the next story and the next story. So we're in a time right now where it's over being tapped into what they're saying. They don't even know what they're saying. They don't even know what they're talking about. And your own reality is far more important. The world you're creating for yourself is far more important than the world that they're creating for you. That's a slow motion. Slow motion this side. I said the world that you're creating for yourself is far more important than the world that they are creating for you. That's one more time. I said the world that you're creating for yourself is far more important than the world they're creating for you. And when you remind yourself every single day, when you read something, when you watch something, it's being downloaded into your mind, your subconscious mind, and it can stay there. It can live there. And you have to be aware every single day what you're allowing into your subconscious mind. You got to remind yourself your mind is a garden. The ancients knew this, and that's the reason why the three monkeys, see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. You have to protect your senses. Because you see, they will show you something and you might be thinking about that the whole day, living in a state of fear, when what is happening is 5,000 miles away. You can't even have any bearing on it. You don't even have any bearing on it. You can't even control what's happening. At the same time, you're looking a little bit shaky, baby. So you have to be very mindful. Take a break from the news. Take a break from the media. Take a break from TMZ. Take a break from all of that, because they need you. They need your attention. They need your energy. They're vampires. You know, people talk about the film Sinners, which I broke down, but the biggest vampires, we're talking about what you read, what you see. If they're manipulating your emotions, they're sucking your energy dry. And that's the reason why you got to be mindful. If you're waking up with your phone on, you might scroll, see a news feed, mess up your whole day. Right? And that's the reason why you want to be mindful of that every single day. Ziggy Stardust, shout out to you. Media wants us divided, not united. Absolutely. Absolutely. And this goes back into a deeper story. You got to remind yourself that the media is the most powerful tool on the planet to govern, persuade, and manipulate people's emotions. And the media could help unite people. It could promote positivity, but it chooses to promote negativity. It chooses to divide people. And that's the reason why you have to become your own media network. You have to have your own television show. You have to have your own YouTube channel. You have to put out your own narrative, because now you are the media. That's a slow motion. Slow motion this side. And isn't it amazing that we are the new media? If you are someone who has a platform, you're sharing content, even on TikTok, YouTube, making a YouTube short, celebrate that, because you are actually now creating your own media. That's what we should all be doing. And that's the reason why it's over. YouTube is phenomenal. What is given to people to say, hey, you can start your own channel. That's amazing, because now you can put out whatever you want to put out. And this has never been done before. We got to celebrate that. But it's not over. Because every single day, they're even now suppressing YouTube, TikTok. And this is the reason why you have to protect free speech. You have to fight against censorship. And you have to remind yourself that the internet is becoming more censored than ever. Even YouTube is becoming more censored than ever. And that's the reason why we're in a time right now where you have to continually be a voice of truth, be a voice of authenticity, because if you don't say something, someone else will. Silence is consent. And that's the reason why I'm still here after all these years looking 22. Is because this is what we came here to do. Bob Marley said, wickedness never takes a day off. Why should I? And you got to remind yourself, we're in that kind of world right now where you realize that these vampires out here, their soul is trapped. They can't escape this dimension. They can only live in the metaverse. That's the only hope that's left for them. If you are someone who's an organic being, you can live in the heart of nature. You can live with beautiful waterfalls. You can really be tapped in. You can go to places these vampires can't go to. And that's your power. And that's the reason why they want to lock you into their world when you have to create your own world. What is good for them is bad for you. What is bad for you is good for them. Let me repeat that. What is good for them is bad for you. What is bad for you is good for them. You understand what I'm saying? Understand what I'm saying, deep divers? Right? So you got to remind yourself every single day, that's how it works. There are beings on this planet who they're not here to be free. They don't want to be free. NPCs walking around to distract you from where you're meant to be. Vampires who are sucking your energy dry, distracting you from where you're meant to be. They were sent here to make sure you don't rise up to where you're supposed to be. That's the reason why people say, gosh, Ralph, how were you able to manifest all of this? And I told them, I'm a 33. The whole universe works in my favor. But you have to be the one. You have to be the one. And once you're the one, you're going to be like Neo in the Matrix. You're going to go like that. All the bullets are going to drop down. Right? So when you're the one, when you are the one, vampires, they can't do anything with you. They got to bow down. Inorganic ones can't do anything with you. They know who you are. They know that you're aware that you are multidimensional. This is the biggest secret that's been kept hidden from a lot of people. You see, this planet is an airport. Souls checking in, souls checking out. You're making yourself comfortable here, not realizing this is the place where you come for a little while, then you're going to another planet. And the ancients knew that. That's the reason why the ancient Egyptians, for example, they were fascinated with the afterlife, all of these things. Because they knew that this was not the only reality in existence. This was not the only life for them to live. And they knew that souls were constantly incarnating, reincarnating, and that everything is energy. It's over. A lot of people are starting to get the wake-up call. It's an exciting time. It's an exciting time. I'm excited. Fee Knight, shout out to you. Fee Knight, shout out to you, Ralph. I found you in college about 8 years ago. Lately, you've been popping up in my head, popping up in my feed precisely when I need you. Thank you for caring and sharing. Hey, that's what I'm here to do. That's what I'm here to do. Because you got to remind yourself, deep divers, that we're the last ones left. We're the last ones left. You know, shout out to all the chosen ones. Shout out to all the deep divers out there. You got to remind yourself right now, because when you realize that a lot of people on this planet, their mind is being hijacked. A lot of people on this planet, their mind has been sabotaged. A lot of people on this planet are being put back into the spell by even people who have been appointed by the inorganic ones to do that, to do exactly that. You got, for example, streamers out there, right? Because the younger generation, 18, 19 years old, that kind of age range, right, are into streaming. And, you got a lot of streamers out there who sometimes I just watch the streams. I say, what are they talking about? And, it's good to see that, they're doing what they want to do. But there's also a lack of information that these young children have. And when you don't have the information, it's very hard to navigate this world. People don't have time to read. People don't have time to study. People don't have time to find out who they really are. Because the program is go, go, go. And that's why I always say, you got to be thankful, deep divers, that you were born in a time, if you're 21 going on 22, you were born in a time where you could play in a treehouse. You were born in a time where you could play with your friends in the park. Those days are coming to an end. A lot of children, they just give their children an iPad and say, sit in the corner and play on that thing. In other words, people are losing what it means to be human. And if you are someone who didn't grow up with a phone in the first 10 years of your life, count yourself very fortunate. Because you see, the beings who are being born right now, they're being born into the AI world. This is all they know. And they're fusing with it. They're meshing with it. That's the reason why they never turn the phone off. It's always on. So eventually, when the chip is inside of you, it's no problem. And there will be a phone that's actually on people. It will be a part of you. It will be a part of your DNA. It will be right here. That's the next step. Just like when people would say, oh my gosh, do you remember the brick phones? The Nokias, all of those phones, the Blackberries. People were like, oh my gosh, now they got the slim phones. They got the foldable phones. Well, those are going to be obsolete soon as well, because all of that infrastructure is going to be replaced by a holographic technology. It's over. Remind yourself, we're in a time right now where you really want to make sure you're not being divided out here. Because no one is coming to save you. Not even Trump can save you. You have to save yourself. We are the ones we're waiting for. Shakespeare told you the whole world is a stage. A lot of people didn't listen well. And when you remind yourself the whole world is a stage, nothing has changed. This is still a stage show. And you become wiser when you remind yourself every single day that it's all about trusting yourself first. Not putting your hands in the life of someone else you don't even know. Not putting your safety in the hands of someone you don't even know. And once you can be sovereign within yourself, you now start to become Neo in the Matrix. This is when you say it's over. You know, there comes a point in time where you wake up one day and say, you know what? I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired, of feeling sick and tired, right? And this is what happens. Let me shout out to Quantum Dynamic 8. Hey, you're most definitely appreciated. Shout out to you. Deep Divers, make sure you hit that like button if you support The Real. Share the video. Hit that like button right now if you support The Real. Share the video because, you know, we're having some fun right now. Quantum Dynamic 8, shout out to you. You're most definitely appreciated. Thank you so much. Tap in thy truth and know God shall provide. God is real. Never shall I ever forget that. When I do, they can only show up in those portals. Just realize, thank you. Whatever we lost, God will recover. Absolutely. Shout out to you. And that's the beautiful thing, you know. Trust in God's plan. Trust in the universe's plan. You can call it God. You can call it the universe. Whatever name you have for it, it is real. And it is showing us every single day there's a plan for our lives. It's showing us every single day there's a greater mission, greater purpose for our lives. You didn't come here just to wake up and complain every single day. Let me repeat that. You didn't come here to wake up and complain every single day. You came here to have the most magnificent existence ever. And the more you can do that, the more you can be free, you see. So we're in a powerful time. One thing you got to remind yourself of as well, deep divers, is it's over. When you remind yourself that what social media has in essence done is actually given people a way of kind of faking it till they make it. You got some people who are in Dubai and, you know, taking a photo next to a Lamborghini and now you think they're a millionaire. It's a lot of make-believe, a lot of illusions out there. And that's the reason why it's over. Once you remind yourself that a lot of people that you see on social media who are trying to always show you how great their life is, a lot of them aren't living that life. Most of them aren't living that life. It's all a show. It's all a hustle. And I realize this because when you start to come into wealth, when you start to come into the next level, prosperity, health, love, joy, happiness, abundance, all of that, all the great things the universe wants for everyone. Once you start to come into that, you realize that it's not about showing off or showing people how much you have. It's about saying, okay, what am I going to do with everything I've been given? That's a slow motion, right? It's about saying, okay, how can I impact people? And this is what's happening right now on the planet. You know, you've got people who want to show off, showboat, flex on the gram, on TikTok, on YouTube. And then you have people who want to help people. You got people who want to impact people. You got people who want to change people's lives for the better. You got people who want to show people something. And if you're in that box, congratulations. If you're in that category, congratulations, because you're winning in life. You see, we're in a time right now where everyone has a job to do. I could have made a whole video about my Rolex watch, which I don't even have. What good would that be to you, deep divers? That's a question. So we're in a time right now where it's about substance over shallowness. It's about saying, okay, right now, I want to have substance. I want to put out something that can stand the test of time. I want to create an impact that can add value to other people's lives. That's where we're at right now. It's over being self-absorbed, narcissistic. We're in a time right now where it's all about giving back. It's all about enriching other people's lives. It's all about saying, okay, this is what I want to share with someone else for the better. And it's an amazing time. A lot of people aren't going to make it though. People who have been deceiving themselves. People who have been living an inauthentic life. People who have been hiding who they really are. All of that is coming out. And if you are someone who has been the marvelous you deep divers, congratulations. If you're still who you are, you haven't sold your soul, you haven't changed, you haven't bent over when they've said bend over, congratulations. Because you see, what if I told you that you're wealthier than most billionaires? Because that's the greatest thing you can do. There are so many people out there who are silent. When they see things happening, they could speak up, but they don't. They could say something, but they don't. When it happens, what happens? Roadrunner. Roadrunners. You got a lot of roadrunners out here, deep divers. And a roadrunner is anyone, when shit hits the fan, these big celebrities who have millions of dollars, when they're asked about something in an interview, roadrunner time. And you have to remind yourself that there's a lot of sheep out there. You have to remind yourself that a lot of people have already been bought and paid for. A lot of people can't even speak what they really feel. They can't even say what they really want because they're going to lose brand endorsements. They're going to lose sponsorship deals. So they're cowards. And they lie to themselves. And this is the reason why, if you still have your voice of free speech and you can say whatever you want, you're wealthier than most people. Because a lot of these people that you might look up to say, oh my gosh, they're living in this big mansion and all of these things, a lot of them, they can't even say anything. They can't even speak their heart and mind because they're afraid. They're living in fear. That's the reason why they get questions sent to them. Before they ever go to an interview, they got to see the questions first. They don't want to be caught off guard. Leonard, shout out to you. You're most definitely appreciated. Let me give you a round of applause. Thank you so much. My dream is to find something as a purpose that... Shout out to you, Leonard. My dream is to find something as a purpose that makes me more consistent, passionate, and talented as the boss Ralph. Shout out to you. Hey, let me tell you something about that. Every single day, remind yourself that you can do that. To be consistent in anything, you have to prepare yourself that it's not going to be easy, but you have to be committed. Everybody wants to go to heaven. No one wants to die. To be consistent, passionate, and talented requires discipline. And discipline is all about doing things when you don't want to do them sometimes, even if you're talented and even if you're passionate. That's what breeds consistency. It's about saying, I have to do this. I will do this. I must do this. And that's the reason why I'm showing up every single day. Because it's a duty and an honor. I love to do this. I love to do this a little bit too much. But there are days when, of course, I'm human, where I say, oh my gosh, I don't want to make a video. But then I say, I don't want to force myself to make a video. I will never force myself to do anything. But I don't put pressure on myself. I say, hey, let's have some fun. If you can get into the idea of having fun, which I'm doing every single day, you can always be consistent. Every single day, remind yourself of that. So it's over. Right now, like I said, deep divers, a lot of people are realizing that they are the stars of this movie. You know, this is the reason why it's over. Because a lot of people are now looking at people, even these so-called stars, as mere mortals like them, with problems, insecurities. And this is what you have to realize, is that everyone is similar. Everyone is equal. In terms of no one is better than anyone else. This is a hard pill for a lot of people to swallow. And you have to start seeing these people who think they're so grand as mere mortals. Stop worshipping these celebrities. Stop worshipping these people who aren't doing anything for you. Stop worshipping these people who aren't even saying anything for you, speaking up for you, who aren't even using their platforms in the right way to speak truth to power. Most of these people, they're road runners. And that's the reason why it's over. You know, the first will be last and the last will be first. We're in a time right now where the true superstars are the ones who are helping humanity find its way again. The true superstars are the ones who are helping humanity go to the next level of greatness, mentally, emotionally, all of that. So, you know, we call these people false idols. We call these people false gods. We call these people the false light. And you have to be aware every single day that there is false light. There are people out there who they will come in disguise as a light. But in essence, they don't have your best interests at hand. And you have to remind yourself that there are beings out there who are vampires. And it's over for you to give your life force to a vampire. It's time for you to shine that light on the vampire. They can't stand the light. And that's the metaphor for the knowledge. That's the reason why a lot of these people, they can't speak knowledge. They can't say something that's going to say, oh my gosh, did you hear what she said? Did you hear what he said? They can't do that. Because if they have the light, they cease to exist. If they have the light, if they start speaking the truth, they won't be who they are. They can only be who they are by hiding in the shadows. And that's the reason why you have to continue to have the emanations of light, the emanations of abundance, positivity, all of that, because you will outshine anyone where you are, in your town, at your work. Sometimes you walk around, you're like, is anyone there? Hello, you want to shake them, right? And you realize that a lot of people are merely existing. And that's the reason why it's over. A lot of people are now realizing, I don't want to merely exist. I want to feel alive. Do a little samba, baby. Start, whoa, breathing in that good ass prana, baby. And that's what you got to do every single day. We're in a time right now where it's about being content with what you have, with who you are. If you've noticed that a lot of celebrities in the Matrix, they always have to do something, maybe a stunt, they have to get your attention. This is done because they need your light. When you have the light, you're good. And this is the secret, where you've got to remind yourself that a lot of people right now, they want the spotlight. They want to be known for something. They want attention. And many times the child that wants attention is the child who never received love. It's a psychology to all of this. And that's the reason why you need to cultivate some love. You need to start embodying the love frequency. And then you realize, actually, I don't need all the attention from the Matrix. I don't need their approval. I don't need their validation. I just need to be me. And this is the difference. You know, there's a lot of people who can't say what they want to say. I can say whatever I want. I've got no one saying, hey, Ralph, you can't say this, you can't say that. That's because I didn't sign the deal. I didn't sign the contract. I'm a free agent. I can say whatever I want. And that's the difference. And this is why you always have to remind yourself. It's all about having foresight to say, okay, do I want my freedom or do I want to be a slave? And yes, some people get more money being a slave, but their soul burns in the process. Like Kanye West said, I sold my soul to the devil for a crappy deal. At least it came with a few toys like a Happy Meal. And you have to remind yourself every single day, I'm already wealthy. Before the deal, I was already wealthy. So the deal that they gave me didn't even make me say, oh my gosh. And that's why I always say, you got to feel wealthy. Don't say, hey, I need this job to make me feel wealthy. Don't say, hey, I need this person to make me feel good. You got to find it within yourself. Happiness is an inside job. That's a slow motion. Slow motion this side. And this paradigm shift that's happening is happening. And you have to remind yourself that the illusion is over. It's over. All that's keeping it going for a limited amount of time is social media. Even that's coming to an end. Social media numbers are dwindling. Instagram numbers are going down. People aren't using Instagram like they used to use Instagram 10 years ago. A lot of people have an Instagram account, they don't even use it. They don't even interact with it. And a lot of Instagram accounts are just bots. AI accounts, profiles, just posting stuff. So we're in a time where even TikTok videos, you got AI accounts posting videos. It's not even a real person. And that's the reason why you have to realize that an original is always worth more than a copy. If you have your originality, congratulations, you're doing phenomenal. So every single day, remind yourself of that. And C Money 2000, absolutely. Let me bring up your comment because absolutely. Absolutely. So C Money said, let me read what you said. The matrix is collapsing. All the bad seeds are losing the battle. The heart space and the love frequencies is going up. Thank you for all you do to raise the vibrations all these years, Ralph. Hey, C Money, shout out to you. Absolutely. Absolutely. All the bad seeds are losing the battle. The heart space and love frequencies are going up. And this is the reason why you want to remind yourself that a good heart can help you out more than you think. A good heart can help you out more than you know. Once you remind yourself your heart is 100,000 times more powerful than your brain electrically. 100,000 times more powerful than the brain electrically. 5,000 times more powerful magnetically than your brain. And this is the reason why a lot of people, there's been an agenda to shut down people's hearts. But no one can make you shut down your heart without your own permission and consent. Why do people shut down the heart? They say, Ralph, I've been through too much. I don't want to feel any pain. But what happens is ultimately it's a paradox because you end up feeling more pain afterwards. It's important, necessary, and essential to make sure you're vibrating in the heart space because that's going to be your life support machine when shit hits the fan. A lot of people without a heart, it's not going to end good. It's going to be ugly. Cat down the road is going to be like, watch out. Because you see, the ego only leads to dead ends. The ego only leads to a trap. And a lot of people on the planet have adopted their ego as a self-defense mechanism. And they use their ego to not interface with their heart. They have to have the massive ego to continue doing what they're doing because otherwise they would be shocked forever. Ever seen someone deep divers walking around a city? They don't want to talk to anyone. They got the AirPods on, going somewhere very quickly, frantically, in a hurry. One day they're going to hit a brick wall. They're going to be in for a big shock. And the house of cards will come down. Everyone you see in that city that you're in right now, wherever you live, who has shut down their heart and they have become desensitized, they're going to be in for a big shock. And if you are someone who said, you know what? I want to move back into my heart. I was a hard person. I was a cold person. Now I want to be warmer. I want to be of a higher frequency and vibration. Congratulations. Because if you're not careful, you will become a monster. Let me repeat that. If you're not careful, you will become a monster. One more time. If you're not careful, you will become a monster. Deep divers, smash that like button right now if you support The Real. Share the video. Oh, Smash that like button right now if you support the Real Deep Divers. Share the video. 5D Abundance. You've just unlocked a song because of your great gratitude. Let's go.
I'm so happy. The whole world is just beginning. We already won. It's about us all. So many beautiful deep divers here. To be alive, baby.
5D Abundance, you just unlocked a secret song. That's what happens when you come in on that frequency you came in on. Let me give you a round of applause. "5D Abundance," shout out to you. Thank you, Infinite Waters. I appreciate you taking time for all of us deep divers. I find it hard to do what I dream of doing, as I am so busy working. I just eat cheap food and pay rent, stuck 9 to 5. Hey, let me help you out. Let me say this to you, right? And this is for everyone in the chat. If you are going through what 5D Abundance is going through, I find it hard to do what I dream of doing, as I am so busy working just to eat cheap food and pay rent, stuck 9 to 5, right? I'm here to tell you there is hope. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. But it's not going to be easy. Your determination to get out of there has to be stronger than what's keeping you there. Let me repeat that. Your determination to get out of your situation has to be stronger than what's keeping you there. One more time. Your determination, 5D Abundance, to get out of that situation has to be greater than the situation that's keeping you there. And what does that mean? It means that a lot of people live in a comfort zone. They say, I eat cheap food, but the food is comfortable. It's enjoyable. It's junk food, but it gives them an instant gratification. Stuck in a 9 to 5. A lot of people complain about their 9 to 5, but they don't do anything about it because they say, I've got no choice. And the truth is, everyone has a choice. No one has a loaded gun to your head. You chose this. No one wants to hear that we are all 100% accountable for where we find ourselves. It was a hard pill for me to swallow when I was also stuck in a 9 to 5, just like you, 5D Abundance. I was pointing fingers. I was blaming people. I was saying it's their fault, it's not my fault. I was mad at my boss, my co-workers, finding things I didn't like about my co-workers, saying it's their fault. You got to be careful. Because if you don't like your 9 to 5, you're going to end up hating people where you work. They ain't got nothing to do with your problems. Your boss hasn't got anything to do with your problems. This is the life we chose. Once you take 100% accountability for where you find yourself, you now can move to where you want to be. But you have to realize that you chose this. I chose to make YouTube videos. No one forced me to do it. I take 100% accountability. I chose every one. Every single video I made, I chose to do it. No one forced me to do it. I can't blame deep divers. Oh, deep divers made me do these videos. No. I chose to do this. I'm choosing to do this live stream. I'm not complaining about it. I'm choosing to do it. I love to do this. So when you have a choice, you're empowered. If I say, well, they forced me to do this live stream. I wanted to play with the cat down the road, but deep diver said I had to do it, right? Whenever you take away your choice, you're always going to feel like a victim. You're always going to be feeling like something is being done to you instead of that you are choosing this consciously. We are all choosing the life we want, even on a subconscious level. Now, don't get it twisted. Sometimes we end up somewhere which really sucks. I've been there. And sometimes I still find myself and we always go through these cycles, right? And it's okay. As long as you have a plan to get your ass out of there. Don't stay there. Have a future for yourself and your family to say, I want more for myself. I want better for myself. I don't want to be settling for a mediocrity. I don't want to be settling for a mediocre ass life. I don't want to be comfortable in a prison. I want to get out and be free. So you have to remind yourself it's okay if where you are right now is helping you where you are, it's okay, but always want more for yourself, because the more you want more, you have that ambition to say, hey, I can be doing more, the more opportunities will arise and you'll be living your best life before you know it. But the more you say, hey, well, this is all I'm good for, this is all I can do. You want to be reading a book every single day, 5D Abundance. You want to be reading my new book, Feel Alive 2. Unlock Your Infinite Power, 500 pages, right? It is the Bible. It is the Bible of becoming your greatest version. That's what I was doing. I used to even work in a library. When I was working in the library, I would read books. When I was studying psychology in university and criminology, I was reading a lot of books in the library which weren't even to do with my course. I was just reading, getting knowledge, because I realized that that could help me along my journey. It costs nothing to get a book, but what it could give you is priceless. Slow motion this side. Never be stingy when it comes to investing in your personal development. Don't say, well, I can't afford it. It's worth it, because you might read a piece of information that can help you get out of that stuck 9 to 5. So you got to remind yourself, invest in your knowledge, invest in your self-development, your personal development. Every single day, you got to be reading a book that's linked into your future. Watching a video. You're watching Infinite Waters? Fantastic. Right? You want to be doing that, but always remind yourself, you chose this life. I chose this life. I chose to share with people in the world to help them become their greatest versions. No one forced me to do this. I chose to do this. And I'm happy I chose to do this. See, when you choose to do something, it's on you right now. And you can feel proud about the choice you've made. That's what it boils down to, saying, hey, I feel proud of this choice of choosing this 9 to 5. And if you can say, I chose this, now you're going to become more focused than ever. If you say that, actually, I didn't choose this job, I was forced to do this, now you're going to always stay in that same job. But if you say, I woke up and I chose to come to this workplace, no one made me do it. Now you can now choose to go in a different direction. We always have a choice. Life is a journey from B to D, birth to death. In the middle is the C. That's a choice we all have to create our own reality, right? So 5D Abundance, I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for you. 5D Abundance. One more thing. If you are eating cheap food, let me tell you this, because 5D Abundance, you're always supporting the show. Let me give you some more gems and jewels. Always remind yourself. Anytime you're eating cheap food, you now feel cheap. Not only do you feel cheap, you feel fast. Fast food. That's why it's called fast food, because it keeps you in the rat race. That's why fast food was invented, to keep people in the rat race, to keep people locked into a lower frequency and vibration. If you're eating junk food, you feel like crap, and now you can't see past where you are. It's all done by design. That's the reason why there's junk food places everywhere. To get the whole foods, you got to go to the local farmers market. To get the whole foods, you might have to spend a bit more to get that cold pressed juice, but it's worth it. And once you start investing in your health, you're going to start thinking differently. The food is the information, is the light source. That's why I always say, you don't have to be plant-based. You don't have to be vegetarian, none of that. But you have to listen to yourself and say, I have to eat healthier. I have to eat whole foods. Because food is everything. And once you start eating well, you start thinking better. And this will change everything. Right? 5D Abundance, you're most definitely appreciated. Shout out to 5D Abundance, and I've been there, so I know what it's like. Sweet Southern Gal, shout out to you. Let me give you a round of applause. Sweet Southern Gal, shout out to you. Ralph, your wisdom is a constant gift, and I am truly grateful for all that you share. I appreciate you, dear one. Wishing abundant blessings to all of the light workers. And that's what it's about, you know. Like I say, shout out to all the light workers. Shout out to you too, Sweet Southern Gal, because we're literally changing the entire world. It's people like us. We made this consciousness go viral. We made this consciousness go mainstream. We are the reason why this conversation is in the household of billions of people around the world. Because you had light workers in 2015, 2016, making those videos on YouTube, which blew up, got people talking, got people thinking, got people saying, wait a second, hang on a second. So a lot of light workers don't even get the credit. There are tremendous souls out there who are doing phenomenal work all over the world. All over the world, right? In West Africa, North America, South America, Europe, no matter where you go, they're doing phenomenal work. And it's because of these people that the world is shifting in a higher frequency and vibration. It's because of these people, these light workers, us who are here right now, that the illusion, it's over. People can now see through it. And this is the reason why, you know, for you to really pierce the veil, you need to have you need to be on both sides. Because you can only understand, understand and overstand when you have realized the dream. When you have received what you wanted. Like Jim Carrey said, I wish everyone would get wealthy and realize it's not the answer. Because it's not just about being a billionaire. It's about helping your fellow human being. It's about being a light unto yourself and a light to everyone who comes into contact with you. And this is beautiful. Shout out to you. Deep divers, smash that like button right now if you support The Real. Shout out to everyone who's here. Essence of Evander, love and gratitude. Hey.
Dom DeMarco.
Love and gratitude to you too. You're most definitely appreciated. So, you have to remind yourself, shout out to you, Essence of Evander, every single day that we are in a whole new world right now. Studio H, I got to say a big thank you to you. And I got to say, let me give you a round of applause, give you your flowers. You're most definitely appreciated. Studio H, shout out to you, Studio H. Thank you for going live, Ralph. How can we dance with the economy as we raise our frequencies during the change of the world? So much love and respect. So, shout out to you, Studio H, first and foremost. You got to remind yourself that the economy is an illusion. What I mean by this is that, for instance, there was this talk of tariffs, right? And you have the US and China, and Trump is now saying something with Europe and stuff like that. All kind of things. But then you have to realize that you have to realize you're rich, realizing I create happiness. You have to create your own economy. And you have to always remind yourself the laws of a good economy. Never go in debt. That's number one. Number two, add value. This is how economies grow. When citizens of a country, when people share value, the whole economy grows 100-fold. So you can dance with the economy by adding value to the economy, by creating impact to the economy, by shaking up the economy, by changing how people think in the economy, by adding your original contribution to the economy. A lot of people don't realize that we're literally changing the economy. There's something called the creator economy, and it's the largest economy right now on the planet. And there was an article I read that says in the next 5 to 10 years, it's going to be like over $500 billion. And this creator economy involves content creators. And this article I was reading was fascinating, talking about how this is the future. People don't realize that there's a reason why in the US, a YouTuber was the number one job young people wanted. They were asking people, what do you want to be when you grow up? They say, I want to be a YouTuber. Now, why would they want to be a YouTuber? Because they realized that a lot of YouTubers who are successful have freedom. They can do what they want. They can talk about what they love to do. It's a great career if you're good at it. Or you can be a podcaster. right? So people don't realize the creator economy is huge. You had one person who had a lot of leverage in influencing the whole presidential election. Joe Rogan had Donald Trump on his show, and all of a sudden, it almost gave him a stamp of approval. This is the time we're in right now where the elections was decided on social media. So this economy, this creator economy, is the economy of the future. And if you want to be a part of it, if you want to dance in it, you've got to contribute to it. You got to say, okay, how can I add value to this creator economy? How can I publish a book, write an article, make a video, have a website, design some art, create a scientific invention, add to this creator economy, because it's the future. And it's only growing and growing and growing. Even people's grandmas are on Facebook, on YouTube, on TikTok. It's not going away. It's just going to grow and grow and grow. And that's the reason why there was a talk about Hollywood, how people are saying Hollywood is over. It's collapsing. Films aren't making the money they used to make. Don't be fooled. Once upon a time, films were the dominant, they were so dominant. They were making so much money. People were going to the theater. They were watching films, like not just one. Every week they would buy like a monthly ticket. Now people aren't going to the cinema like they used to. What's happening instead is that the creator economy is taking over. You've got YouTubers, TikTokers. They are the new film stars. They are the new film stars. So the creator economy is showing you that you can actually make your own films. You can create your own news network. And this is the creator economy. There was actually a YouTuber who made a mainstream film, which actually did better than most films at the box office. And the guy was talking about how we're getting to that stage where it's happening. You're seeing the influence of the creator economy. You're seeing the influence of the creator economy all throughout society. So don't underestimate the power you have to add value to the creator economy, because it's the future. Why do I feel like I just gave a TED talk? Deep Divers, what's up? Smash that like button right now if you support The Real. Smash that like button right now if you support The Real. Share the video. Shout out to everyone who's here, Deep Divers. It's starting to feel like that old Infinite Waters again, right? Shout out to you. Shout out to everyone who's here, Deep Divers. Ricky, shout out to you. To everyone who's here. Everyone who's diving deep. We're just reminding ourselves that something is coming to an end. We're in a time right now where we have to be brutally honest with ourselves. And, I'm still thinking about what 5D Abundance said. And 5D Abundance said, I'm going through it. And that was powerful. Being brutally honest, I'm stuck somewhere in a 9 to 5. Let me say a big shout out to Noma. Thank you, Ralph, and respect, peace, and understanding to all. Hey, I appreciate you. we're in a time right now where we have to all be as we have to be as honest as possible. And one of the greatest things you can say is that actually I'm not doing well. Actually, I'm struggling. This is the most powerful thing you can say. This is the most powerful thing you can do. Have brutal honesty. And if you're stuck in a 9-to-5 you don't like, be honest about it, which you've done. And this will help you find something that is going to help you become your greatest version. One thing to remind yourself of, deep divers, I made the video, The Rise and the Fall. And I was realizing that, oh my gosh, sometimes it's only when you reach a peak, what I call the mountaintop. I was truly on the mountaintop around 2017, living like a rock star. So I have to realize that it was a gift from the universe just to experience like the peak of YouTube before the pandemic, where things were just like, wow, and that feeling is not the same. It's not here at the moment. The dynamic has changed. The landscape has changed. The world has changed. So it's a blessing to realize in life, you go through the rise and the fall. You go through the ebb and the flow. And you have to remind yourself that life is full of these. And you have to be willing to embrace all of it. You have to be willing to realize that life is about change. It's about evolving. It's about moving with the times. But one thing I do know is that there is no fall when you're always in a state of elevation. When you're always in a state of elevation, you're constantly rising. And this is why you have to remind yourself the beauty of it. You see, it's a marathon. And if you can remind yourself that if you're still here, you're still here. You're still rising. Society tells you you've fallen because maybe you're not earning as much money as you used to make. Maybe you're not working where you used to work. Maybe you're not living where you used to live, right? Maybe you don't have 5 children like Ralph Smart. Maybe you don't have a cat down the road like Ralph Smart. Maybe all of these things. Maybe you're not married. A lot of people think I'm failing because I'm not keeping up with the Joneses. Nothing could be further from the truth. You got to be very careful because this is the trick of the vampire, to tell you that you're inadequate, to tell you that you're inadequate, to tell you that what you're doing is nothing, it's useless. And this is how people feel bad, and now they feel like their life is worthless. I'm always here to remind you that you're doing amazing. You got to remind yourself every single day you're doing better than you think. What's happened is that society has become neurotic, and even when people achieve great things, it's still not good enough. Even when people are doing phenomenal things, they still feel like it's not good enough. And this is why you have to have gratitude, because you're going to go through the rise and the fall. Everyone goes through the rise and the fall, this ebb and flow, this movement. And if you don't have gratitude, even if you are doing amazing, you're going to feel like you're failing. You have to say thank you, because this is how you can have groundedness, you can have balance, equilibrium. And this is the great things that emerge. There are a lot of talented people. And what happens with these so-called celebrities in the Matrix, they sometimes find themselves in a hotel and they take their own lives because they don't even feel enough. But they have so much money, so much wealth, but it's still not enough because they've got a program that says they always got to be more. They always got to do more. And that's a trap. Sometimes you got to say thank you for what I've achieved. It's all a blessing. I'm going to count my blessings. I'm just happy to be here. How many people say I'm just happy to be here? Ralph Smart does. Do you think, deep divers, that I care how many views a video gets? Do you think I care about how many views a video gets? I'm just happy that I've been able to change my entire life for the better on this YouTube journey. Happy I've been able to impact so many people. I'm impacting, present tense, so many people. And I've had videos with over 6 million views. Does it make a difference? That's why I always tell you, you have to get the high of the highest and then the lowest of the lowest. I started out from nothing. So how can I fail? Why should I be worried? I just said, hey, let me take a chance. Let me take a risk. And I struck gold. Everything else in my life is just a bonus. Like I told you, none of this had to happen, but it did. So if you are someone who's always complaining, missing the good old days, you got to remind yourself that the good old days happened when everything was happening for you amazingly. It can still happen again, even better. But you're going to go through a cycle. It can't always be here. You're going to go through a little journey, but it's all to show you that what is this all about? Because there are people who have so much, but they take their own life. They're not happy. And I say, wow, this is crazy. I'm thankful every single day that I'm doing other stuff. And this is why I say, don't place all of your eggs in one basket. Don't place all of your eggs in one basket. I'm still skating. I'm still doing other things. And this is the beauty of it. But you have to remind yourself, we're in a time right now where you owe it to yourself to not have that what if moment. And that what if moment is, what if I had done this? What if I had tried out? What if I had gone for my dreams? What if I had left that shitty 9-to-5 and actually gone after what I really wanted? You know, Bronnie Ware, the palliative nurse, she was speaking to people on the deathbed. She was asking them, what do you regret most? And a lot of people said, well, I regret not traveling enough. I regret not taking that risk, not speaking to that person. I regret not going after my dreams. So you don't want to be one of those people. But so many people are. And you got to remind yourself right now, if you're not happy somewhere, turn the car around and move towards your happiness. That's what I've been doing for a long time. And you can even do more. Because the truth is, we are in a matrix. We do have vampires around us. Oh, you like the skating video? Crucial 13, that's what's up. Shout out to you. You do have to remind yourself that you are in a matrix. And you do have agents. You do have people who are soulless, who want to trap you into a lower frequency and vibration. And that's the reason why every single day you have to choose to be the one like Neo in the Matrix. You have to choose to say, you know what? I'm going to ride adversity. I'm going to face adversity. I'm going to overcome adversity. I'm going to ride the wave, not going to be crushed by it. Because you got to remind yourself there's two different energies on the planet. And there are people who are here to help the planet evolve and ascend and raise the frequency. And there are people who are soulless, walking around to distract you from where you're meant to be. You're in a game, a video game. And that's the reason why you have to always make sure you're vibrating at a high frequency. You know, one of the ways that a lot of people get attacked is by getting carried away. A lot of people get attacked by resting on their laurels. I told you. 2017, rock star YouTuber, living like a rock star. Mentor pulled me aside. Ralph, don't get carried away out here. I had to ground myself. I had to not let it get to my head. And that's the reason why I'm still doing it. You got a lot of people who are living that rock star life and they crashed out because they got carried away. They forgot about the mission. And we're in a time right now where a lot of people are focusing on approval from outside. They're focusing on attention and they're missing the message. So you got to remind yourself right now, people are listening. The amount of people who have messaged me, who are even famous, you will be surprised. Oh, Ralph, thanks for your videos. And this shows me that they're listening. We're impacting the culture. We're impacting the whole fabric of society. And this is why you have to remind yourself that light workers, chosen ones, what you're doing is the great work. You are the most influential. You are the one, when they speak, everyone pays attention to. Everyone listens. Everyone is secretly listening. They're acting like they don't listen to you, but they're listening in. They're listening in. They act like they don't even follow you. They don't even subscribe to you, but they're using another phone to watch you. Going to bed thinking about what you just said, because we're in that time right now. Don't get it twisted. There's a reason why the music industry is collapsing. There's a reason why all of these things are happening. Because it's over. It's over. There was a time when these people could create the illusion. Diddy, all of these people. It's coming to an end. There was a time when Epstein, all of these people can create an illusion. Have the island. All of that's coming to an end. And that's the reason why it's over. A lot of people thought that, hey, it's going to last forever. But this should show you what was done in the dark will come out in the light. And a lot of foul stuff happened in the music industry. A lot of people did things, abused their power, their position. It's all going to come out. It's already coming out. That should show you it's over. Don't ask what is over. Can't you see what's happening in the world right now? So everything is coming out. The truth is coming out. And Cat Down the Road is excited. But we're in a time right now where you need to go harder with your light work. Because once again, inorganic ones aren't going to stop. They're going to go hard. They have to. They got no other choice. They're going to do everything they can to make sure you don't see the truth. And that's the reason why you have to put out that message that the youth can listen to, the children can listen. It's not about the adults. It's already too late for them. It's about the future, the young ones, because they're the future. And that's the reason why you always want to be putting a message to them as well. And that's why I told you, the streamers are very powerful. The streamers, the Kai Cenat, the iShowSpeed, all of these people, extremely powerful because they have the attention of the youth. And that's the reason why you have to infiltrate that so you can get the message to the youth as well. That's what I've done. That's what I'm doing. Because the youth are ready for the truth. They're ready for the awakening, but they need the information. You got to share the information. So I was like, okay, I can upload videos, which I do, but I'm like, hey, The only way I can get the message out these days is by live streaming. Because we've gone from, once again, we went from analog to digital. We went from uploading to streaming. And in the next few years, there's only going to be live streaming. If you're not live streaming, you're going to get left behind. Because when I'm making a video, it takes a long time editing the videos, all of that. Now, everything is about live streaming. So you got to move with the times. And for me, I can do both. I'm left and right-handed. I'm ambidextrous. So I love live streaming. Let's go. Oh, I can play this game as well, Deep Divers. I can play this game as well. We're 2 hours over. I can do this every single day. And the more you do this, the more you're a force to be reckoned with. Because we're in a time where it's a battle for the hearts and minds of the people. You got streamers who are going live for 6 hours. They've got the attention of the youth. So you have to learn how to live stream. Because this is the future. It's not just something that content creators do. This is how people are going to communicate. We're in a powerful time right now, Deep Divers. You know, I want to thank everyone who's got the new book. If you haven't already, go and get the new book, Deep Divers. Not for my sake. I'm not even making hardly any money off this book because it's £19.99, $20. By the time they print the book, ship the book, I don't make it for money. I'm already wealthy. But I said, hey, I want to write this book, 500 pages, because Feel Alive 1 was the #1 best-selling book on Amazon. And this one is going to be as well. But I said, okay, I got to put out something as well. Because we need an update. We need a new book, Ralph. That's what it was time to do that. Third one is on the way as well. Feel Alive 3. Dropping 2028. Oh my gosh! 3 years from now. Already writing it. So, first one was 2013 in the series. This one, 2025. Next one, 2028. But go and check out that book on Amazon, ralphsmart.com/thebook. Also, join the Patreon page, patreon.com/ralphsmart. And the Good Ass Prana shirts, ralphsmart.com/clothes. And of course, join the YouTube membership because Eric, let me say a big thank you to Eric for always supporting the show. Eric, you're most definitely appreciated. So join the YouTube membership. Click join below this video. And that's the thing. Even with the YouTube membership, it's always tricky because I'd love to share all the videos with everyone. And that's what I'm here to do. That's what I'm always going to do. But there are always people who say, hey, Ralph, I'm going to support the membership. And, I have other videos for those people as well. So join the YouTube membership. And what I'm doing as well is that I'm like, hey, if you're on this live stream, let me say a huge thank you to everyone who's been on this live stream, on this show, phenomenal show. Smash that like button, share the video. Smash that like button, share the video. And like I say, you can decide, but thank you to everyone who's been here. When this ends, it's going to go straight to the membership. What do you say? I want to hear from you, Deep Divers. Would you say that's fair, or do you want me to keep it up on the main channel, this live stream? What do you say? Put it in the chat. What do you say? Because like this video is over 2 hours. And I say it could just be for the members. Right? Because someone had actually advised me to do that. They're like, put the live streams for the members only. That's what a lot of people do. I've been putting them all the time for the public. Because there's so much information we unpack on these shows. And I always say, if you're here, you're here. So I already know a lot of you here are already members. So what do you think? You think that's fair? That's fair, right? Because it's like, I already put out a video. Someone saying main channel, someone saying put it for the members. Because that's the thing. I already put out that's the why I always tell you, deep divers, give thanks. Because most YouTube channels, they got a whole membership section where they just have exclusive live streams for their members only. What I've been doing is just putting all my live streams for the public, because I'm putting the videos. I did a video today, Signs of the Times. But there are people who subscribe to the membership who are like, Ralph, we need to see this video. And a lot of the videos, most of the videos on the membership, there's no ads. No ads. People are like, Ralph, why is the ads on the main channel? I say, go to the membership. You won't have one single ad on the video. Not one single ad. You just watch it straight. So, like I always say, let me say a shout out to everyone who's here. Right? Let me say a Raw Ishmael. Shout out to you, Raw Ishmael. You're most definitely appreciated. Let me give you a round of applause.
Dom DeMarco.
Salute, Ralph. Your inspiration led me to create Glitch in the System on Raw Life Music. Hey, deep divers, go and check Glitch in the System on Raw Life Music. Love Life University. You're a true glitch in this matrix. Check it out when you get the chance. Much love. Hey, I definitely will do that. Most definitely. And that's what it's always about, you know. And like I say, Raw Ishmael, shout out to you. And we got a question in. And deep divers, once again, the show ain't over. Hit that super chat. Keep it going. Got a question, got a message. Let's dive into it. Leonard, shout out to you. Do you think the universe will send a savior messiah in these times? Absolutely. Because you got to remind yourself that they've already come and they're here. Right? And you got to remind yourself that you can be your own savior. That's number one. The savior is you first and foremost. You got to save yourself. No one's coming to save you with a life jacket. You better learn how to swim. Little joke for you. You got to remind yourself that a lot of saviors and messiahs already come. I remember when I was at university. And the guy was saying, we were talking about artists. And he was talking about Tupac and saying, gosh, this guy was so different. Only 25 years old to do all of those songs. He must be a glitch. And I'm like, absolutely. Bob Marley. All of these people are prophets who have come back. Who signed contracts to be here for a certain time to give you a message. So you got to remind yourself that they're walking amongst us right now. But ultimately, you have to be the one who saves yourself. Because the truth is, in a world full of masters, who rules? That's a secret. Everyone is supposed to be a master, but not everyone can be a master. There's levels to this shit. Many are called, few are chosen. And this is the reason why, we are the ones we're waiting for. You got to remind yourself that people don't want the Savior or the Messiah right now. A lot of people don't want to hear that conscious stuff in the Matrix. But now they're starting to listen. Because we're in the age of truth. But for a long time, they didn't want to hear it. So people praise ignorance. But with the fall of the music industry, you see everything that's happening in the trial with everything that's happening with Diddy, that whole situation, that's a sign, symbolically speaking, that it's over. The illusion is over. We're going back to Lauryn Hill. We're going back to the real, where you got to say something. You got to have a message. And, that's why it's a good time to be alive, right? So, I'm kind of liking this new setup. I got this new background or new backgrounds because we can change it every single day, Deep Divers. But, I'm definitely loving going live. I'm loving interacting with all of you in live time. But like I said, join the membership. Join the membership because it shows, okay, I want the message. I want the live stream. Because I feel, once again, there's a lot of things which I say, and I've said even in this live stream, I don't even know if the main channel can handle it. The main audience can handle it. Because I know the people who watch the live streams are the real deep divers. They're the people who are always here. They're going to show up in live time. And it's a whole different audience, right? Cheryl, shout out to you. You're most definitely appreciated. Thank you so much. You're most definitely appreciated. So, once again, I want to thank all of you who've been here. I want to thank everyone who's been on this powerful show. And like I say, if you were here, we dive deep. We've dived deep into a whole lot of stuff. Whole lot of stuff. Okay. I like that because that's what I need. I needed some feedback. And that's why I always say, hit that super chat. Let me know what you think. So this is what the blueprint is saying. Make it for members only on Mondays live, and you can re-upload some important moments. Right? Okay. We can roll with that. So once again, Deep Divers, if you want me to keep this live up on the main channel, I'll do what you say because I want to respect people who are on this live. If you want it to be on the main channel, I'll put it out. If you want it to be in the members only section, let me know. Put it in the chat right now and I'll see what people are saying. This has been a phenomenal show, Deep Dive. I do enjoy going live. And like I say, eventually I'll just be going live, right? But someone is saying members only. Okay, that's 1. Main channel, that's 1. We're doing up to 10, Deep Divers. What do we got? Main channel, that's 2-1. Uh-oh, Deep Divers, what have we got? Main channel, that's 3-1. Main channel, 4-1, 5-1, 6-1. Shit. 7-1, 8-1, 9-1, 10-1. Hey, we got to put it up on the main channel. That's what it's like then. Okay, we'll put it up on the main channel. You know, I'm diplomatic like that, deep divers, because I always say, you know, it's not just about me. I will make other videos just for the members, but on these live streams, I will ask people who've been on the live, who've supported the show, to say, what do you want? Do you want it members only? Do you want it on the main page? We need it on the main page. We'll put it on the main page. Deep divers, I want to thank all of you who've been here. To everyone who's been diving deep, much love to all of you. We'll keep diving. We'll keep going live. We got a whole lot to talk about tomorrow. Much love to all of you deep divers. And like I always say, we're in the greatest time ever. It's always a choice. It's always a choice. Peace. Infinite waters, diving deep once again. Stay well, stay healthy. Peace. Yo! Once again, deep divers, hit that like button, share the video. Shout out to everyone who sent in a super chat. You're most definitely appreciated. And much love to all of you. Let's go.
I'm so happy. The whole world is just beginning.